how to maintain a positive attitude in stressful times. I'm going to give you 7 specific things you can do starting today. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, partners, the world changes. All right, so let's be honest. The world we live in today, with war, with economic challenges, with social platforms that are just all over the place, it can be as stressful as we allow it. But that stress is only something that we allow if we allow it to come into us. But the reality is that we're getting hammered all the time. Now, I've had the good fortune to work with CEOs and leadership teams around the world, and stress is something that's part of that everyday occurrence. And these 7 steps are things that I've learned over the last 30 years working with people. So the first one, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, but when you're in that stressful position, you're getting hammered all the time. It's like stress, 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 stress. One of the first things to do is to stop, slow down, and take a breath. Now, this may seem like a trivial small thing, but it isn't. It's breaking the cycle. It's transition from that reactive state into more of a proactive state. So if you're feeling ultra stressed, ultra wigged out, and you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, or put your phone down, go for a walk outside, even if it's for 15 minutes. And in that process, that alone is going to start to help transition and allow you to be more positive and maintain that positive attitude when you're in that stressful time. When you transition and you are completely in reactionary mode, you are not in a positive space. You're getting flooded with all sorts of negative hormones that are not going to help you. That's where you take a breath. Okay, step back. Excuse me. A little post-COVID cough, speaking of stress. All right, the second thing then, as you're out on the walk or even on your day-to-day, start finding the victories. Think about those things that you're grateful for. What are those positive things, those positive and empowering things that you've experienced in the past or that you're grateful for today? There's proven studies that if anybody, think about if you're a parent and the first time you held your child and you looked in that child's eyes and you were so present, you were there, and you think about that, the emotions and the chemicals that flood your brain are so filled with love and positivity that anything could have come in and the stress would have just rolled off your back. The reality is that you can achieve almost 98% of that same emotional and those same mental flood of chemicals by even just remembering that and thinking about that and being grateful for it. So those people who are watching this will be like, oh yeah, Kluver, I'm not grateful for anything. Shit, my world's a mess. Well, you know what? The fact that you are actually able to watch a YouTube video, that you woke up today, that you speak English, when you look at the grand scheme of things, on the grand scheme of things, things are good. If you choose to look for something positive, is the sun shining? Did you feel that on your face today? Did you wake up with somebody next to you who loves you? Did you wake up and you have the opportunity to go find that person? But how you challenge that is going to be, or how you choose to look at it is your call. And if you choose to look at negative and you let that little internal voice in your head just go negative, 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 that's where you're going to live. But if you transition it, it's going to help you to start setting a positive way of looking at it. So the first thing is slow down, break the cycle, transition from a reactive to a proactive state. Second, find the victories, be grateful. This is going to help you stabilize. As you start to stabilize, you're like, okay, well, maybe the world isn't so terrible. Things aren't as stressful as I think. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. All right, the third thing is to start to set intentions. What is your intention? All right, so today I'm going to run around like a chicken with my head cut off and I'm going to react to everything and I'm just going to, oh God. Or today I'm going to be Zen Master. I'm going to be Cool Hand Luke if you're old like me and know what that movie is. Nothing is going to rile me, no matter what it is. I'm going to be in control of it. I'm really going to set the intention of being in a proactive state. And when shit hits the fan, somebody comes in, something bad's going on, okay, whoa, stop. Be curious and try and understand where they're coming from. Don't react immediately to it. So the third thing is setting intentions. The fourth thing is to be present. This is going to sound crazy, but I believe the greatest gift we can give anyone, including ourselves, is to be ultra present. Be ultra present when you're talking with people. Be ultra present if you're screwing around with abandon. But when you start to become present, you're going to create more of a connection with the people, the person, whatever the task that you're working on. You're going to become much, much, much more efficient. And I've got other videos on this channel that talk about this. But two, you're going to connect with them, and things are going to happen faster. You'll actually start to move and speed things up. The idea of multitasking is a total myth. It's bullshit. It doesn't exist. You actually most of us lose 30% plus of our time in transitions throughout the day, bouncing from this to this to this to this. So if you set the intention, I'm going to focus on these things for a while, I'm going to work on this, this is where my intention is, I'm going to be cool hand Luke and get it done, and then move to the next. When you're there, be ultra, ultra present when you're doing it. Fifth thing, manage your sleep. You are the primary asset of your organization, your relationship, your department, your own life that is you. So often we end up abusing that. We don't treat ourselves, we don't protect the asset the way we should. So if it means getting the dishes done versus getting an extra hour of sleep, screw the dishes. Make sure that you're getting that rest. I have CEOs that I coach, public CEOs, that would say that is their number one competitive advantage, is being rested. And when we started, they were a mess. But the fact that they're at that point now, they realize that when they're well rested, they actually make better decisions. They're less they're less reactive. They're more intentional. They're filled more with gratitude. Now, 2 small tips with this: when you go to sleep, my routine is I try not to watch anything for at least an hour before I go to bed. Take a little hot tub, relaxes me for some other body issues I have, but then I read for about an hour and then I go to sleep. Works great. Before I drift off though, I always try and say, what are the things that I'm grateful for? And if things are challenging, you know what, still, there's things that you can be grateful for. My wife, about a year ago, and I spent a month over in Nepal. We did some trekking and spent some time in a monastery. But remember, this is a country of 25 million people. That's roughly the size of Colorado. So the population is very dense. And roughly a third of those people live on less than $3 a day. And those people were filled incredible amounts of gratitude and happiness. I think a lot of them were a lot happier than we are at $3 a day. So if you're thinking it's financial woes or it's relationship with, think about those things. I'm not saying they don't exist, but you can find positives in those other areas. So if you drift off to sleep having some of those positives in your head, it'll set the intention on how you sleep that night. And then when you wake up in the morning, first thing, before you even get out of bed, think about those things that you're positive for, that you're grateful for, setting that intention for the day. It'll set the whole thing up right way. If you wake up and you're like, God damn it, I gotta do this, and I still have this, and oh my God, and then suddenly you're in this fight or flight state, and it's not going to help you. With the fight or flight state, human beings are the only animals on the planet that have the ability to put themselves into that state. So what I mean by this is if you see a deer out in the woods, and a mountain lion comes up on that deer, and the deer sees it, the deer immediately gets a full adrenaline dump and runs away. And the deer gets away safe, okay? 15, 20 minutes later, the deer shakes that all off and they're back to where they are. Humans have the ability, if we lose control of it, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, we can work ourselves up into that entire fight or flight state to where a lot of us are living in that state. It is very, very unhealthy, and it will eat you up. So this is where helping to manage that, manage those sleep, manage those intentions is going to work with us. All right, the 6th thing, help others. I don't know why this works so well, but if you start holding the door for somebody else, and if they don't like it, that's their issue, it's not yours. If somebody asks for help, just really genuine be there and help them. There's something in gratitude and acts of service that can really help build this for yourself. I think it's actually a selfish act in a lot of ways because we get so much more out of it when you start helping others. And lastly, stick with it. None of these are a magic bullet. There's no panacea. But when you start doing this and you create the habits around this, it really will allow you to and help you maintain a positive attitude during those times of stress. So the first one, slow down, breathe. Transition from that reactive to proactive state. Second, be grateful. Find those victories that you can say, this is positives. And if you need to, go back and revisit different, even in the past in your mind. It'll help you. 3, set the intentions. Who are you going to be today, and where are you going to focus on what needs to get done and when? 4, be present, ultra present with yourself and others. 5, manage your sleep. Start with those gratitudes at night and in the morning. 6, help others. And lastly, stick with it. If you found value with this and you're interested in learning more about what we do, you're welcome to go to our site at lifeon-yourterms.com. I'm really grateful for you investing the time today. Subscribe, check out other things. Let us know if you have any questions. Keep smiling.